So how you come to the project? How did you come to the project like this?
I was given the first volume back in 2004, and two of the producers on the film had read the book and approached me about it immediately. And I read the first book, and about a third of the way in, I was thinking, I could see how this could make a great film. So yeah.
Yeah, and how was to combine your style with the style of the comic book, because it's very idiosyncratic, your style. It's very with the big close-ups and all the humor, the comedies.
Yeah, I think I think so. Me and Brian have a similar sense of humor, and I think it was kind of like style was kind of similar. So hopefully, it's a nice mesh of like my sense of visual and verbal humor and his.
Mm-hmm. So how is it work without Simon, babe?
Oh, it was cool. I mean, the thing is, Simon and Nick get to go off and be in other films. Mm-hmm. So it takes me 3 years to make a film, and in that time they can make 3 films.
Yeah.
So I figured I said to them, I said, you get to sleep around with lots of other films. I think it's my turn to sleep around.
Mm-hmm. And what was your favorite part of filmmaking in this process? The actors, directing the actors, or doing the action, or doing the storyboards, or
I guess, it's like such a complicated film, I know every part of it was kind of fun to do, and they're all very complicated things. Like, there's the comedy, but then there's musical sequences, action, romantic scenes. So it was all all very intensive stuff to do, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, I think the thing is, combining the action and the music together was probably the most fun, because it was I'm a big music fan, I'm a big action fan, but to do action scenes that were musical numbers was really good fun.
So what films did you pay homage to? Because in Shaun of the Dead was the zombie films, and Hot Fuzz with the 80s films and the Bad Boys. Did you watch any films from that?
Not really. I mean, because we had the source material, it wasn't really like that. I guess if anything, it would be I don't know, teen romantic comedies, but more if there's a structural thing, we looked at a lot of the kind of the classic kung fu films from the 70s, the sort of Shaw Brothers films. So things like Five Deadly Venoms, Five Fingers of Death, One Armed Boxer, Master of the Flying Guillotine. So we watched some of those films, but it isn't really, there are some homages in it. There's the homages that are in there are very fast and very obscure, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls or Flash Gordon or the Monkeys film Head, but those are minor things. It's not the same as Shaun and Hot Fuzz. It's not like a Valentine to any specific genre. It's kind of its own beast,
Mm-hmm. And how did you choose the cast?
I don't know. I just kind of picked the best young actors that I was fans of out there, and a lot of the cast I was a big fan of, having seen them in other stuff, obviously Michael Cera, Jason Schwartzman, Anna Kendrick, Chris Evans,
Did you have
Kieran
any
Culkin.
in mind when you were reading the book?
Well, I've been working on this for 5 years. So when I was first working on it, Michael Cera was too young to play the part. Mm-hmm. And then as it went on, he was he was the perfect age to do it. And I remembered in 2004, I remembered working on the adaptation and watching Arrested Development and thinking, oh, it's a shame that kid who plays George Michael isn't older. And that's how it kind of worked out, and it was just he was always in my mind to play it, basically.
And how you write the script? Because there were 6 volumes, and you have to take some things apart, and you have to compress some other things.
Well, me and Michael Bacall, who I wrote the script with, we went to Toronto, and we worked very closely with Brian. We went to Toronto to kind of basically pick his brains, and he'd written 2 of the books by this point, and then he had plans for the other 4, and so we found out what the plans were, and then worked with him on just the synopses and the plot, and so we just basically picked his brains for as much information. And then over the course of 5 years, more of the books were published, so we just kept redrafting and incorporating things from the books, and yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.